Perez Hilton Sister actually gave an interview, firsthand account of what happened that awful day, August 6th, before, uh, you know, the police and everyone arrived. Let me get a drink real quick. Hold on 1 second. Because gosh. Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe I didn't press the button. Okay, so Paris Hilton's sister shared a heartbreaking firsthand account with Page Six on the gossip blogger's suicide attempt in an emotional interview with Page Six. August 4th will be forever one of the darkest days of my family I've experienced, Barbara Lavandeira told Page Six exclusively in a phone call on Wednesday, referring to the evening Hilton live streamed acts of self harm on TikTok before being transported to the hospital near his Miami home for life-saving treatment. Okay, so remember when I was telling you guys that what I was telling you when I was speaking on one of my videos that, hey, this looks like something that was a possession that Paris Hilton had. Let me get the same energy so I can get up and do this. I accidentally made a mistake and did not have the recording on when I was recording to record my voice. So it says audio that it's recording now. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, we were talking about that, like spiritual warfare. And a lot of us did see that. Although, I was coming across this and I didn't try to come across it. And I'll go into it when I was listening to Paris by accident on TikTok when they were showing terribly this 30 minutes of video with this. And I didn't mean to come across it, but it just came across my feed and some other parts of my feed in YouTube. And it literally sounded like Paris had different voices at each time he was doing this. There was a point where he was cutting, he was saying something, and it sounded like he had somebody else's voice. And then there was a point when he was looking outside at the officers, and he said, he sound really weird, like the voice sound inhuman. It did not sound like his voice. So there, we think the doctors. Let me be clear and watch what I say. The doctors are the one who does the final diagnosis of what has happened. Those of us who are spiritual, though, and perceive and have experienced things, see this in a way also that is what we have known as facts that's in the Bible and have experienced things likewise to this has happened. So we can't take just because of edicts discount our experiences as well. So of what we see. And if you're new to this and you don't understand, you may say things that you're not well aware of. But it's never you take it as you want to, because that's not the final outcome. It is exactly the facts that are noted and the facts that are perceived, and we'll go here. So anyway, she goes on to further say, that afternoon, Mario was in his bedroom with the door closed and locked, which wasn't like him. Lavandeira, which is Barbara. I'm just going to say Barbara so you'll know, since they both have the same last name, I'm distinguishing her, between her mother or between her brother. So I'll say her name, which is Barbara, whose his real name is Mario. And his door is always almost open, right? So Hilton, 48, stopped responding to her when she tried to check in, prompting Barbara, who was visiting from California, to become very concerned. When I knocked, he said he was fine, but I could barely hear him. So she's knocking, and he's saying, okay, like he's in a tunnel or something. So you barely hear him. So she knocked a few more times and asked him, open the door, Mario. And he stopped saying anything. Then she tried to call his cell phone, and in a case he couldn't hear me, but he wouldn't answer. Something just was totally wrong. So she unlocked his bedroom door and realized he was inside the bathroom. I knocked several more times and told him I was going to come in if he did not open the door. At this time, he just didn't answer. There was no response. So she unlocked the door, and Lavandera then recounted the devastating moment she realized something is terribly wrong as she came face to face with her brother. When she opened the door, her nightmare became reality, she said. Mario was standing in front of the shower, naked, cut up, covered in the red juice, with a box cutter in his hand. And you guys know when I say the red juice, YouTube doesn't want us saying certain words, so you can know what I'm saying when I say the red juice. So it was a moment she will never be able to erase from her memory. Could you? No, not at all. What I can say with certainty rather, is that I didn't recognize my brother when I looked at him. I saw it in his eyes. They didn't look the same. Then a split second later, listen to this. He smiled at me. He smiled at her. It felt like I was staring at someone else, she shared. Okay? In a total panic, Barbara fled the bathroom and quickly led Hilton's 3 children out of the house. He has 2 girls, 1 boy. She said, "Get out." She left the room, grabbed her car keys, and yelled for the kids, "Run to the car, run." Thankfully, our mom wasn't home at the time, and I was able to get everyone out quickly, she said. Once the children were safely in the car, Barbara called 911. This is his sister, okay? The first call I made was to the police. Then she messaged her best friend who lives close by, and she said, while she was on the dispatch, she said, "Please come and take the kids, take them away from this scene." While much more happened in the hours that followed, Barbara, which is Perez's sister, Mario's sister, who had been extremely close with her brother, said she's going to leave out many of the specific details because they are too painful, graphic, and overwhelming to recount. You can understand that, right? As we know, Hilton left loved ones and fans horrified when he shared the footage on TikTok of him injuring himself. TikTok is a whole nother story on its own because it's a platform, and I am a content creator as well, where you hear a lot of people saying, for something so minor as saying one word that's out of line, or if you have music that they feel they don't want on there, although you made the music yourself, they will can your channel. They will stop your channel immediately. And when I say immediately, I mean after the second that it starts uploading and you just uploaded what? For something to throw in the trash. So just for them to keep something like this on, that's so horrific like this for 30 minutes, and this hasn't been a first time because there was another young lady, I don't know her actual name. I forgot her name, but she was a K-pop fan, and she got humiliated, and she felt really sad, and she did something awful too. They kept that on for a long time. So it's not starting with Perez Hilton right here, and these are moderators. Oh, it was a moderator oversight. Okay, but moderators seem to get to you real fast when it's something very tiny, and it's not something like this, right? So anyway, Barbara continues on page 6. Eventually, I was able to go back into the house while I waited for the ambulance and placed towels over Mario to help him stop the blood. He had already lost a lot of blood, yet he was somehow able to speak, and his voice was very faint. Okay, so he's not getting the nutrients and the things that all of us need, all humans have, which is blood, a lifeline, right? So he's fading away pretty much. But she was able to go in, thank God, safely and not get harmed, and put some towels on him. So the ambulance, I really feel, guys, being in spiritual warfare, having experienced it myself, and when I say myself, having not that I haven't did the cuts or anything, but I have experienced the possession, and I know what that is. And you are not yourself. You are literally inside some other realm, but something else is taking over your physical body. You are seeing another realm. You're away from the body somewhere, and it's probably in where they are, because that's all I saw. Something that looked like tall trees doing some type of crazy chant. And I was just right there, and they were in my existence where I was supposed to be. And my mom and my cousin saw this, and it was nothing crazy, too crazy, but it was just me sleeping, they said. And they said they saw a purple mist coming out of my mouth, and I was saying something like chanting something, and the same something that when they described it to me, I had heard or it was in the scene where I saw these tall trees draped in black robes chanting something. These guys are not only dangerous, but if you were to look into their face, I don't know if you would survive. I'm not kidding about that. So I have been in the gist of this warfare like this, and I thank God Almighty, yes, I stand here today, that He has delivered me from it, and others, truthfully. And Paris, yes, Paris is still kicking it. And when you think of it, Paris was talking about God and doing things, that God wanted to do. He changed. He changed. And I'm going to go into this next explanation from his sister, but he totally changed. When I was not a fan of his back in the days of that tabloid or that magazine or whatever he was doing back there, but I not even really a fan now, but I just happened to fall into one of his videos on YouTube, and the love that you just see him, his family, his mother, between his children and his mom that they all have was very relatable and very exciting to watch. And his journey when he was talking about God and everything, it's very exciting to watch. He was learning, he's new, he's transitioning from where he, excuse me, I got this itch in my nose, Lord. When he was transitioning from where he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing to something more positive. I don't know why I have this itch in my nose. Excuse me. I'm going to try to get through this anyway. And I think that's why the enemy did not like that. And sometimes the enemy will throw something in, and God is still there, but God wants to see what you would do. You would get tested often. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, so you will get tested often, right? Because it's just a way of refining you to make for sure that you will know and learn what to do when the enemy comes on full strong like that. One of those things is to have the full armor of God. So going into this, Lavandeira explained why she bravely chose to open up to page 6 about the details of that horrific day. And basically she said, I debated for a long time if I should say anything personally. But Mario has always been an open book, and he is. He's always someone who has shared his family and much of his life online. Okay? So she continued, as a younger sister, I am just the opposite. I'm quiet, private. I'm very, I don't like the public eye or anything like that, although she stayed behind the scenes. As the only person who witnessed what happened, I wanted to tell people this is as a matter of fact. She feels since I'm the only person who can offer some clarity, so much has happened, I was the only person there. I'm talking now for everyone who cares about him, has been sending their best wishes, but also because of all the rumors, false reporting, fake exclusives, made up quotes going around, she said. I can only share what I personally witnessed and experienced, but I want people to hear directly from someone who was actually there. Okay? Lavandeira took a moment to shut down the misconceptions about Hilton's character, sharing he is not the same person he was more than 2 decades ago when we launched his conversational website. The comments calling this karma have been especially painful. I wouldn't wish that on my mother, Mario's children, entire family, or anyone, Barbara said, his sister. Barbara understands that some people don't like Hilton, while others even hate him. Mario has publicly acknowledged the harm caused early in his career. She said he went on network television and admitted that the outings, doodles, and other things he did were wrong, and he apologized repeatedly. Lavandeira, which is Barbara, Mario's sister, pleaded with the public for some respect as her family navigates this difficult situation. I'm not asking anyone to forget or excuse any of that, but you should. People should forgive if they want God to forgive them. It specifically notes that in the Bible We aren't to act as if we're our own little miniature gods over something or over someone, because we all make mistakes. And him who is not sinned cast the first stone. Nobody can do that because everyone's a sinner. I also understand that some people will always believe he hasn't done enough despite his efforts, and no one is a judge. So that's out too. Uh, she continued, I am simply asking people to recognize that he has changed tremendously over the last 20 years and has generally tried to become a better person. I don't believe someone should be reduced forever to the worst things they did in their past, and especially when they admit the harm and generally try to grow. Whatever anyone thinks about Mario, his children, and his mother are innocent. They shouldn't be. Excuse me, my throat. They shouldn't be punished or tormented because of how people feel about him. I hope no one's doing that. I absolutely hope no one is punishing and trying to torment his children. That sounds crazy. Sources briefly told Page Six that his close circle is concerned Hilton's recent battle with sepsis may have triggered his mental health scare. In March, he had an issue where he had to go to the doctor because he had sepsis. Because what he did, which none of us should really do, we're all human. He took a bunch of medicine on an empty stomach, and it caused a perforated ulcer, which started to bleed. So it caused some severe pain in his gastro tract, gastrology, his tract, and it septus leaked out of there into his body. We all know what the gastric tract holds. That's your stomach, your small bowel, your large intestine. Go figure. So septus leaked into his blood. Then later on, he got a clot in his leg. It was a long clot that was causing him very painful to walk and everything. Those things really took a hit on him. So at that time, he was saying, he had found God. God came to him. He knows God is real. I totally believe him when he says that. And God saved him and talked with him. And that's what the enemy most likely was mad of, because God did come to him and God did talk to him. And you got some of these people saying, was it the God that was it the real God, or was it, well, God wouldn't tell you to harm yourself, and God does save people from distressful situations. I really don't believe that there's only one God. That's the Most High God. I don't believe it's a demon who wants to come and take you out of your pain and save you from dying. If anything, they want you to feel pain and go straight to them with hell. So, no, I totally believe he saw God, and he was seeking, he was learning, and he was sharing. And sharing was the biggest threat to the enemy, because the enemy had him doing things that was doing the opposite of God. Now he's transitioning to want to be with what God wants him to do. And all of us are kind of in that stage, because we're on earth where we share it with things that are unseen, that are principalities, and they're very infiltratable. We are infiltratable. Anything that hits, whether it be it's through a movie, it's through an idea, it's through doing the wrong thing, hanging with the wrong crowd, following, doing the wrong thing, it can hit from those perspectives, and it can come into you, and you can let it, and they're playing catch. They're throwing their vibes. And if you want to catch it, they're not making you. You caught it. Okay? But if you want to wear your full armor of God and know the traps of the enemy and what he does as far as temptation and evils and stuff like that, and you rather stay away, then you do what is necessary and what you have to do. That's just the way it is. So we live in a earth that is not fully as heaven as it is on earth. We live amongst demons, and I don't mean just people, but in the form of the parallel, you live amongst spirits who put their vibe out, and you're either going to take it, they're going to test you, or you're not. Remember, you're over them now. They used to be holy angels, but because they made some kind of thing in heaven when they challenged the Lord, where they wanted to upseat him and say, we can fight him, and there was a third of them that ganged together and said, read this is in Daniel, in the Bible. It's in the Bible. And they challenged and said, we can upseat God. And if you daddy, are you having that? Are you having your children tell you, I'm going to upseat you and you created them? And you know what that, you can go, you're not going to want mean devastation on your children, but you're not going to have them thinking they could do something so vile to you, correct? So God wasn't playing that. And once he caught wind of it, which I'm sure it was right before anything, they were thrown down where we are. And they have been here in rebellion for all that time since. And it's been eons. They have been here infiltrating humans and doing things. And even some of the bloodline is a part of the Nephlia. And if you read some of this, you'll understand what I'm talking about if you read the Bible. And if you seek, if the Lord wants to and he allows you, he'll open some things that are necessary according to him that you need to see. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't. They really don't. And I hope that they do. But anyway, she says, going on to what she's saying, she is saying that, he has changed. He's become a different person. You can see that. Like I said, I wasn't into that, but looking at him, he's deeply loving, deeply good family man, a good father man. And that was what I was really incredibly uh, like, wow, I love this, like enthusiastic about watching him and his family, the way he loves and the way he comes across on his YouTubes and everything. So his sister said he's very great, she's very grateful to Hilton's loving fans who have supported him throughout his career and during this difficult time. What I can say on behalf of our family is that we're deeply grateful for every kind message, prayer, and expression of genuine concern, she said. The support has meant more to us than I can properly express. Okay, so go to their site, perishilton.com, if you want some actual real updates of what's going on, because that is the family and that is for what is really happening. If you have a crisis yourself, I would say first, please go to God and pray to him. Also, I would say if you are yourself or you know someone that needs help in the US, call the text confidentially 24/7 S line and crisis helpline. That's at 988. I am also praying for you, and I want to let you know, and I'm sincere about this. I'm not just talking out of my bun here, that if you're having a hard time, I do sincerely love you, and I pray for you. And I wish you would see the value of the human you are and who's around you, the value of the human beings they are, and that you can express love and light of all things to your Father in heaven. You can receive that and express that in yourself. You mean so much to me. You mean so much to God. You mean so much to me. And you're so much to yourself. And so many people love you. Okay, so don't ever feel alone, because you are not. You were assigned someone when you were born. In fact, you were assigned two when you were born. Unfortunately, the other assignment is something that probably some other thing did, but you got to counter that and know that you were assigned from your Heavenly Father, a loving angel, to guard you, watch over you, and be where you need to go. So just know that. Know you are loved, and don't accept other people's projection. Sadly, Hilton caught that and took that projection into himself. But other people will project and try to humble you because they're sad themselves, and you just have to pray for them. But don't accept that, you know. Just know that you are loved, you are brilliant, and you're a star in the many that is here, that is truly deeply loved by your Holy Father. Okay, guys, so that's what's happening. I'm so very glad that Miss Barbara Lavandeira, which is Perez Hilton Sister, decided to come out and do the interview. It was very eye-opening, brought clarity, and whether she believes it or not, I'm sure it helps someone to understand. And I hope this helps you also to understand, coming from a spiritual perspective, that in this world, doctors have what they do, and we as seers, and you can look up what seer means, have what we know and what we do. And God definitely over both of us does what he does. And sometimes we can fall and when catch is thrown, but Make sure you don't catch from the wrong 5. Make sure you catch for the wrong one. Okay, you guys. Thank you. I love you all. Thanks for watching.